You are going to die one day. I'm going to die one day. We all are going to die someday. This here is a life calendar. It illustrates the number of weeks you'll live if you're very, very lucky. You might look at this and think, wow, I have a lot of time. But in reality, you don't. Studies show that the average person spends most of their time sleeping, working, and up to 300 weeks time wasting. I've already burned through my 300. But what's left is this tiny, minuscule fraction of time. 1.8 years. And still, we're told to work hard and enjoy later. But who's to say there will be a later? From the moment I opened my eyes, my fate was sealed. I mean, I'd barely been alive for 30 seconds, and my parents had mapped out everything. School, university, medicine, wedding. How typical. A couple of years back, I remember visiting the ophthalmologist, a wise old man with a close resemblance to Master Oogway. After the appointment, he quietly asked me, "Child, what do you want to be?" Honestly, I was sick and tired of hearing the same question over and over and over again. So I launched into my usual monologue. Well, maybe medicine, but business, Stop. He stopped me, and he said, "This is what other people want you to do. But what do you want?" And suddenly, I had a conflicting epiphany. I had spent all my life listening to what other people wanted, that I failed to ask myself what I truly wanted. We are so much more than a job. Humans are made of experiences, thoughts, memories, emotions, yet somehow we let that one title define us entirely. And that is the title we are judged by. I'm no saint. I'll admit, I've judged people too. But who hasn't? In fact, according to psychology, judging others is a defense mechanism fueled by fear of our own insecurities. And for a while, I succumbed to this fear and fell into peer pressure. When I say peer pressure, no parents, I'm not talking about PAB. I'm talking about the pressure to fit in, a challenge which most of society faces today. In fact, in the 1950s, the Asch conformity experiment tested just this, where one real participant sat in a room with 7 actors, and each person was asked the same simple question. Which one of these 3 lines matches the target? You might look at this and think, it's obviously C. But each of the actors was instructed to give the wrong answer, either A or B. And the results, they were shocking. Up to 75% of real participants opted for the wrong answer. Not because they believed it, but because the fear of being the odd one out was just that powerful. Today, trends such as looks maxing, playing mahjong, and body trends have taken over the world by storm. And I'm guilty of being swept up by these trends myself. But after a while, I couldn't keep the act up anymore. I was tired of drinking matcha and playing poker. So why did I still pretend? Why do we fear being rejected so badly? Studies in neuroscience show that when you face social rejection, your dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or the DACC, activates, which is the same region of your brain that lights up when you break a bone or touch something hot. This explains why we're scared to do the smallest of things. Raise your hand in front of a crowd. Disagree with someone else's opinion. But life isn't meant to be a straight line. It's meant to be a wave, a curve, full of moments. Happy moments, sad moments, funny moments, angry moments. These moments are fleeting. So why do we let the smallest moments have the biggest impact on us? The end of the world is over 1 billion years away, yet most of us act like it's when we stutter in class or trip in public. When I was 10, I remember asking my late grandpa a very simple question. What is your biggest regret in life? I thought he would say, I wish I had a better car, I wish I had a fancier house, I wish I was a better father. But instead, he said, I wish I didn't care. Now, 10-year-old me was super confused. By every measure, my grandpa had a successful life. A house, a job, 2 kids, what most of us would consider the whole package. But he never got to be the version of himself that he truly wanted to be. Not caring doesn't mean giving up on life. It means choosing to ignore what others have to say about it. And in that moment, with my grandpa, is where I found my idea worth sharing. Inspired by this bold approach, I decided to test it out with my mom after receiving a bad test grade. Safe to say, it did not end well, and now I'm one step closer to going to boarding school. But I wasn't gonna accept defeat. So I decided to sign up for TEDx. And when the signups came out, I was super hesitant. But I did it anyway. Because at the end of the day, you must realize that you don't just live once. You only die once, and you live every single day. Every day is another opportunity to seize and live life by your own standards. And to quote the renowned scientist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the probability of you being born is 1 in 400 trillion. That's the same probability of you, yes you, winning the lottery over 1.3 million times. We're the lucky ones because most people who could ever exist won't even be born. And somehow social media convinces us that our lives are boring and mundane. We only see the highlights, the delicious food, the exotic travels, the 7-star hotels, but never the lows. See, humans are like caterpillars. We begin free, ready to consume the world around us. But somewhere along the way, we get trapped in a cocoon of thoughts, words, and what other people have to say. But just like caterpillars, we have the ability to break free and become something beautiful. But too many of us stay locked inside that cocoon, afraid to show the world our wings, our flaws, and our identity. So, who really cares? Raise your hand if you care what other people think of you. For those of you who raised your hands, honestly, same. For those of you who didn't, either you don't care, or you care so deeply that admitting it wasn't an option. You were so concerned with maintaining an image of strength that being vulnerable felt like a threat. Either way, by now, you know that you care. And the burning question still remains. How do we stop caring about caring? Let me tell you about Kobe Bryant. 5 NBA titles, 2 Olympic gold medals, one of the greatest of all times. But when he entered the NBA at 17, he airballed. Multiple shots on national television. Everyone laughed at him. Everyone said he wasn't ready. But Kobe didn't let it get to him. He just kept shooting again and again until he made it. Any successful person you can think of, from Drake to Oprah to Elon, they all shared one key trait: the ability to block out the noise from other people. You can't be a prisoner to someone else's idea of you. I've done a lot of research and compiled it into a simple 3-step formula that will change your life. Step number 1, the aristocratic mindset. When I say aristocrat, I think of some high-five, pishy-poshy individual. But aristocracy isn't that. It's a mindset in which you take the decision to govern yourself. People who had breakthrough ideas, like J.K. Rowling for Harry Potter or Alfred Wegener for Continental Drift, they weren't accepted by the public at first. But they believed in what they said. Philosophies like Stoicism have talked about this for centuries, with Marcus Aurelius writing about how controlling your inner world leads to the outer world losing its power over you. Now, this mindset doesn't mean trying to stand out on purpose just to feel superior. It means staying true to yourself no matter what the crowd has to say. Step number 2, trusting yourself. Yes, yourself. I know this can be hard, and I struggle with this too. But once you trust yourself and embrace change, you will be able to let go of how other people perceive you. Even if you're uncertain, you have to believe. And finally, step 3. The simplest step, but it requires understanding. Understanding that nobody actually cares. You could look at this one of 2 ways. Either, oh, nobody cares about me, I'm so sad. Or, nobody cares. It's freeing, it's liberating. Like my mom always said, there's only one planet Earth, but each of us is living in our own world. If no one's judging, why not try something new? And if no one's watching, why not finally be you? Mindset, trust, and understanding is all it takes. And I truly believe if you implement this today, you'll look back and thank yourself. As Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't spend it living someone else's life. You can do anything you've ever wanted to. And you might be wondering, what is this 15-year-old saying? She doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's true. I really don't. But the main part is that I'm trying. So whether you're 616 or 67, it's never too late to start trying. So now, you have a choice. You can listen. You can ignore. You can walk out of here and forget everything I've spoken about. Or you can change. I want you to close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Hey, no peeking. Think of something you've always wanted to do. Something you would do if you weren't afraid. Something you would do if you didn't care. Now open your eyes. And that thing you just thought of, that is your life waiting for you. So go do it. Because at the end of the day, who cares? Thank you.